are back fighting the good fight. Look at this. All four of the brothers up in the space. Gene, we will give you an honorary black card. We know that you got some soul in there and that DNA. Ladies and gentlemen, friends of all ages, all genders, welcome to the Pop-Off, the brand new spanking Pop-Off. We've been doing this new look and this new brand for about a month and change, and things are feeling nice. We got multiple shows on the channel, so make sure you go over to the YouTubes. Make sure you look up the Pop-Off Sports Network and find all of our channels there. But right now, this is the mainstay, the Pop-Off. My name is Najee Donner. I'm going to be the host for this journey, but also with me, the improved Thunderbolts. Asterix, the new Avengers. If you haven't seen it, spoiler alert, already spoiled it. Hey, Mr. James Woody, he is our Winter Soldier. What is happening, my man?
Doing all right. I think I am developing a sore throat or something. Don't know what's happening, but we are here. We're here to talk sports. Let's get it. Happy Friday.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. And you know what? This would not be a full story if it didn't have the most patriotic of them all, USA agent. He was Captain America for a hot minute, but now he is back with us, Mr. Gene Fitzmagic. What's up, bro?
I'm good, man. I'm good. This finals is going to be fun to talk about. Game 7 for the first time in about 9 years. So
Yeah.
Let's get it.
That's what's happening. That's what's up. And also in agreement, if you heard that, that was from the man, the legend. He's got so many personalities. I am going to call him our century, our void, Caleb Pinkett. What's up, bro? How are you?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
Yeah, man, living my best life, just doing the thing.
I feel you.
All right. So you know what? Without further ado, I want to say what's up to everybody in the chat. And if you're not there, get up in there. Once again, go to YouTube, like, subscribe, do all the things and share. Add your comments, add your feedback, because we love that nothing more than to and have more things to talk about, a little bit more fodder to go in with. But right now we're going to start. We are going to start with the NBA Finals. Listen. Did the Pacers, did they just flip the momentum? Did they do that? And for all y'all young kids, momentum is a word that, Caleb, you know where momentum came from, right? School them on it.
Well, I have actually, you know what? I haven't heard it in a long, long time. The momentum.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And now it's like I heard it from different people. So
Okay.
I if you're talking about a reference,
Yeah.
I may not have the right reference of what you're referring to.
I want to hear
Right?
what your reference is.
Oh, my reference is John Witherspoon. He said it at the house party. Listen, that's what I'm saying. You may be talking about something from the comics because you've been on your Avengers and all of that.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
No, I'm talking about from the Fresh Prince, when Fresh Prince and his caught in they parachute down, they get caught in a tree. And then his dad talks about how they need momentum to get out of the tree. If you haven't seen the episode, watch it. It is hilarious. They get caught up in the tree with the parachute.
Is that the episode where he goes skydiving with the girlfriend's dad?
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I think you're right. I'm sorry. With the girlfriend's dad. Yes, I think you're right.
Yes.
That's the one.
That's right.
Played by John Witherspoon.
Played by John.
I thought it was the dad from Good Times.
John Amos.
Listen,
Yeah.
John Amos. It was John Amos. It was John Witherspoon.
No. In the
somebody
plane,
find out.
it was John Witherspoon.
There you
Okay.
go. Hey, somebody find out in the chat. Make sure you correct.
Well, you know
this
what's
is the way
funny
that we do
it's the
things.
same character because John Witherspoon was John Witherspoon in House Party and all.
That's
that.
what I'm
So
saying.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
That's what-
John Witherspoon is John Witherspoon in everything he's done.
That's why I think it's hilarious.
John Witherspoon was the man. Rest in peace.
Yes, sir.
This is it. This is what's happening. We're back, baby, and things are going to go off the rail quick, and that's how we're going to go. But we're going to talk about the momentum that the Pacers have stolen? Question mark. I mean, I think it might be a given. Let's start with you, Caleb. What do you think?
No. I don't think they've stolen any momentum. Not at all, because you got to go into Oklahoma and win. Like, okay, see, it's so funny. Last night they had SGA was mic'd up, and he was like, "Yep, all right, one game for all the marbles." Like, it don't matter if they win by 100 points or 1 point. You won. You got it. Cool. We're going home, and I think they're favored 8.5 in the gambling sites. So they were like, that's like the fourth largest point differential in the last 35 years. So, and I honestly, like, I like the Pacers. I don't see them beating them. I see what they did last night, OKC does on Sunday. Like, I just don't see them beating OKC in Game 7 with my man Leather Draws leading the charge with Williams on his right. Chet didn't have a good game either. Like, I just don't see them doing it. I really don't. It's possible, but I think they're gonna I think OKC smashes them on Sunday.
Ooh, okay, you know what? Let's jump into that conversation in terms of who we think is going to take the Larry O.B. home, whether it's on home turf or an away game. What do you think, Gene? Pacers, have they stolen that momentum, and have they gotten the right to get to OKC and take the Larry O.B.?
No, they definitely didn't take the momentum, as we say. I do think I hate to agree. I love to usually go off script and go nuts, but this is just a game that, you know what, they were on the road. I kind of find it very similar to the Knicks when they won that home game before they went to to Indiana and got stomped out. It's just one of those games where you one last surge before the fall, and I don't even think Game 7 is even really going to be close for the most part.
Exactly.
I think they're going to close it out. I think we'll know who the champion is by the end of the third quarter at the latest. So I don't think they stole any momentum. I think they did what they were supposed to do. They won a home game in the finals. But and trust me, I was rooting for the Pacers. I was rooting for them. They're a rootable team. They haven't had more talent than anybody they've played, but they've gotten through everybody they've played and so forth. We're here in the finals, and they don't have the same talent level as the OKC Thunder. So you were kind of rooting for them as a little guy, but OKC Thunder is just too powerful. They got it. Like I said, this game will be over by the third quarter.
Oh boy. Okay, and just like the Avenger who tipped the scales, as I mentioned, the Winter Soldier, Woody, it's up to you. What do you think?
There's no way in good conscience I can say that the Pacers are going to lose. I've been saying that all May, all June, and I've looked like a fool every single time because balls be bouncing up in the air, coming back down, toes be behind the line. I just can't do it. Can't do it. I mean, obviously, I think OKC can win. I do think they're the better team, like everybody's saying. But we're gonna need guys to step up. Chet wasn't anywhere. Alex Caruso, who I put in my parlay to score 8 points, didn't take a shot all game. Why is he not taking a shot? He played 20 minutes. Shoot the ball, man. Shoot the ball 0 for 0. At halftime, there were only 3 Thunder players that weren't Williams that even scored a basket, and none of them scored more than 2. So we had 4, 2, 2, and then SJ and Jalen Williams. They cannot have that recipe again if they're trying to win in Game 7. And the Pacers will never be on that because, again, they are 10 deep, and it don't matter. It can be Siakam. It can be Obi Toppin has somehow come alive. It can be TJ McConnell. Nemhard, anybody, any one of these people, for a fact, they will never have that stat that I just said about OKC. So I don't think it's going to be a walk in the park. I think it's going to be a dogfight like it always is. They could be in the third quarter up by 18. Gene's like, this one's over. And then next thing you know, somebody's hitting a buzzer beater.
Game 1 of the ECF. So
it's yeah. I don't know. I think it's gonna be a close game, and I cannot count out those dudes from India.
This feels very reminiscent to me of the Super Bowl, especially the last game that we just watched last night. Of the Super Bowl, Philadelphia, KC, Philly just putting a whooping on KC, but you just couldn't take your eyes off the screen because you just never know. You never knew what was going to happen just because it was Mahomes, but all the signs said there's nothing back for the Chiefs, and I felt like Game 6 was like that yesterday, where it's like you just never know. It could turn at any possible moment, but the momentum and the energy and just like everything that the Pacers were doing they could not miss. They just could not miss. It was wild. And yeah, it was nuts. But I have been, I mean, out the gate, I said Thunder in 6, and I thought it was gonna happen, but I was like, ooh, they have to go back. Game 5, I was like, they had to go back to Indy to try and win this. I don't know if that's gonna happen. So now we're doing it all over again for all the marbles Sunday, Eastern time, 8 p.m. It's happening. Johnny boy, what's up, man? Got a question for the panel. CJ Mosley retiring. Should CJ go into the Jets ring of honor? Hey, man, you jumping the gun. We'll get to the NFL, bro. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. Let's talk more NBA stuff before we jump off into the NFL world. Who's got to step up? Who has to step up? Because somebody's got to. In Game 7, who's that person going to be? Because we've had a couple different players step up on Indy, a couple different players step up on OKC. Who's that person going to be for either team to hoist the NBA's most coveted trophy? Let's go with you, Woody.
I think I named them before, if we're talking big three, Chet, because, it hasn't been a big three at all. It has been, Batman, Robin, and then it would be disrespect to Alfred to even call Chet that right now. So that's somebody who would need to step up, but somebody else who, for the Pacers, their version of him on the Pacers is always active and making a difference, is Alex Caruso. I mean, he had 2 games this series where he scored 20 points, and they won. They're 2-0 in those games. But now when he want to play around, get 8 points, want to play around, get 0 shot attempts, they losing. So, to me, that's clear as day. If Alex Caruso can provide points and assists off the bench for this team, they will not be beat. So, as a matter of fact, forget about Chet. He can do whatever he wants. Alex Caruso, if he can make an impact off the bench offensively to match his defensive impact, OKC is winning this game.
Ooh, Gene, point or counterpoint?
I mean, I still think it's Chet because we have, as Woody just said, we haven't even seen Chet do anything yet. One big game from him can totally sway around the whole series, right? For himself, if he comes out and puts up, 25 points, 15 boards, and a few blocks in key crucial moments, and they win the series, you can kind of almost forget that he had such a bad series because he had such an electric last game, clinching game, right? So I got to go with Chet, but I totally can see what he's saying with Caruso, because Caruso's like the little spark plug. He's like the little guy that that when he's on, and the team and I think the crowd feeds off of Caruso a lot. But I think we need to see something from Chet, and I think we will. I think it's about time now. He's kind of taken the last 6 games off for the most part. And it's time for him to step up a little bit. And in Indianapolis, man, or Indiana, it could be, you could really say anybody, because, and we said this earlier too, with Indiana, every game it's been somebody different, right? Every game it's been somebody else really kind of stepping up and taking the mantle, and to the point where we've even seen some of their big players like Halliburton, not do anything for a couple of games. So to say Indiana needs somebody to step up, it just has to be somebody, because every game somebody has had a big game, every different start. So as far as OKC, it's got to be Chet. I think we will see Chet have a good final game.
Ooh, Caleb, what do you think? Chet or no Chet?
No, I think it's. I mean, yes. I mean, they're both right to a degree. It's like you need your players to step up, but it's really about leather draws. That's it. If he get 45, it's a wrap. If he come out and do what he's been doing, like it's over. Williams is doing his thing. It's like those two alone, and everybody else just do their job. Dort play defense. Caruso, because all you need for Caruso is to hustle. Get the hustle plays. Get the same thing that TJ McConnell does for the Indiana Pacers. He does that for OKC. If he does that, he X's out McConnell. So now you don't have to worry about that. It's like Chet, okay, Chet can be there or not. You've already seen OKC can blow him out without Chet balling. You've also seen them with Chet scoring. So, but where they don't win is when Leather Draws scores 20 points. That's when they don't win. He needs 30, 35, 40. He's in there. They win this chip. They're walking away with it. He go into the fourth quarter scoring 15 points. You know what I mean? On 12 or 13 from the field, you know, from the line, he's 10 for 10. I'm telling you, it's like, it's going to hinge on him. SGA is the key to this. It's the superstar thing. And Williams is his strong partner. Everybody else plays their role. They even got the dude, I forgot his name. He's the skinny dude that comes off the bench, but he be hitting his threes. But he hit a couple last night. He does it there. It's like, that's good. Dort is ridiculous. He can shoot, but he's a better defender, right? And I'm telling you, that's going to change everything. That crowd is going to be hyped. It's really going to be contingent. If SGA balls out, it opens up for everybody else because they can't stop him. King mid-range. You know what I mean? It's just, I think is it Chet made? That's funny.
We'll let it pass. We'll let it
Hey,
pass.
my wife, please.
We'll let it pass. Yeah, I think you guys are right. What I love about this squad, OKC specifically, is they play like a unit. Like, and the Pacers did that last night, which made them unstoppable. And I'm not saying there are a bunch of individuals on the Pacers. I'm just saying the machine isn't as well oiled as OKC, and maybe that has to do with their youth. I don't know, because they just want to run and gun as fast as possible. This is OKC, and they're also good at it. Last night's game was really tough to watch because their offense struggled more than anything. Their defense was atrocious, talking about OKC, and those are things that they have been known for. And I think statistically, this was probably their worst game that they've played, not only in the playoffs, but all season. And you watch the wheels fall off this thing, and it was just a screeching halt, and it was really, really tough to get through. Now, I'm an OKC guy by proxy of our boy, Mr. Kanda, Captain Kanda playing on the team this year. So I'm about that life. But I'm also, and I think I mentioned this to you guys before, I'm also of the Pacers ilk because of Siakam. I loved that trade. And I swear I said it on this pod. I loved that trade that went when he left the Raptors to the Pacers because he couldn't have fit better, and we've seen it. So he also needs to step up. If he steps up and he does his thing instead of like pulling back and just trying to do jumpers, which is noticeable, then that could make or break for the Pacers as well. I also want to mention that, hey, make sure to like, subscribe, and what else we want to do? Like, subscribe, share, do all those things. Jump into the comments. We appreciate you. And I also wanted to mention the Johnny Boy's joke, which was very funny. The Chetmate thing, very, very funny. Pads are welcome here. Pads, what am I talking about? What's the word I'm looking for? The type of joke.
Dad jokes.
Dad jokes.
Dad jokes. But there's another word, and I can't think of what it is. Yes, puns. Puns are welcome here. I'm so bad at puns. I hate puns, and I can't even say the word puns, so it doesn't matter.
I prefer my puns intended.
All right, get out of here. All right. Once again, this is the pop off, and I'm fumbling, much like Tom Thibodeau and his future in basketball. What is he going to do next? Now we're jumping right over to the former coach of the New York Knickerbockers. Now, where is he headed? Is he best suited for the NBA? Is he best suited for the NCAA? Gene, I'm going to start with you on this one. Tom Thibodeau, what's up?
Yeah, I don't know where he's going to end up. I think if what you hear is true with the exit interview with the playing certain guys too many minutes, I think that could hurt him from getting another NBA job, because I think a lot of the owners nowadays listen to their players, man, and the GMs listen to their players, and they're going, if one team thinks it gets spread around the league like wildfire, that thought. And we've seen it in multiple places. And I think this might be the time where it really kind of hit the head. So I could see him not getting another NBA job for at least for a little while. And to be honest, I do think he's better suited for the NCAA. He's got that rough kind of tough personality where you help mold, I think, some of the kids in college. He has his personality to me screams college basketball. And I think he can go to a program and really, turn a program that might be lagging a little bit and turn it around and make it a big time program. I think he'd be an excellent college coach. I would love to see him actually give that a shot. I think he could really make a difference in college.
Caleb, you're nodding in agreement. College coach, you think?
Yeah, I think Gene is right. Like, I think he would do great in the NCAA. And then for the NBA, it just depends on the team that he's on, right? Like, he would need because you're right, like not playing as many players. But I think he wasn't playing them because he didn't have faith in them. It's like you're gonna play who you believe in. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't think that they had anything. Well, at least not to the level that he knew the Pacers had those players, right? So there's that. But I do agree with Gene that a NCAA run, I think, will be good for Thibodeau. Because didn't he come from Michigan State? Wasn't he the Spartans coach years ago?
No, because Wichita's been there forever.
Oh, wait a minute. I don't know. Thibodeau came from, because I know he was in Chicago, but I thought he had an NCAA run prior to being an NBA coach. Maybe not.
No, I think he was just an assistant for years and years and years, and then finally got a shot.
He definitely could be suited just for that. But also it just depends, because nowadays college players, they got their the NILs, so they feel like they're pros now. You saw homeboy speaking in third person, all that. It's like he wasn't even that good.
What was the nice story though? You see the kid from South Carolina instead passed on the $8 million and stayed at South Carolina, the quarterback. I'm blanking on his name, but I mean that's you like to see them just kind of put.
Well, because not everybody is like that, but what I mean, they're like pro players now because
100%.
Yeah, so Thibodeau, you know what I mean? Who knows? But I do think traditionally he would be better suited right now for the NCAA. I think he would be really good.
What do you think, Woody?
I think he would be fun either place. I think the media did a good job of cracking on the Knicks instead of cracking on Tibbs. Like, they were like outraged. How can you do this to someone who brought you to the Eastern Conference Finals? His stock is high right now. What he has done to that team. I didn't see too many people in media saying, "Oh, good move for the Knicks." Like they were, the Knicks are stupid for this. And look at what Tom Thibodeau has done. Look at the Knicks record. The last 5 years before he came, and then the 5 years he was there. So I think he can do it. A team that sticks out to me would be like the Bucks. Like, they have defensive-minded players. Giannis would play hard for Tibbs, and he can find diamonds in the rough to kind of elevate to that next level. But with that being said, that's what being an NCAA coach is all about, is developing players.
Right.
So he definitely would be good at that too. I'm not saying he wouldn't. I think he would be good with the right fit in either league. I don't think it's a matter of, you should only look at this league or look at that league. He's a good coach, and I think he can make something happen with specific teams in both situations.
And by the numbers, just to give a little bit of background on Thibodeau, I mean, he's been coaching since the late 80s, 89, 90. He started with Minnesota, again, assistant coach all over the place, including the New York Knickerbockers, when he finally got his first head coaching job in 2010, 2011 with the Chicago Bulls. He's with Chicago for a bit, and he did well. His percentages, he has all winning percentages except for, none. So he's all winning percentages. Then he went to Minnesota. He had a couple losing percentages there. He was there for about 4 seasons or so. And then he was with New York, all winning except for 2. And those are transitions. And then the last 2 seasons, he's been well above 500. He said 62%. Like, what do you want? 50-win seasons, right? So it is rough to look at how this organization can treat him when things are trending so well. I also think if you went to go ahead, Gene.
I was going to say, I don't think he got fired for what he did in the regular season, unless the exit interview was that much. I think if you take the exit interview out of the equation, he's underachieved in the postseason 3 years straight.
Totally.
So that's where I think you finally say, hey, listen, we have a good team that should be able to make the finals, especially moved on to other rounds the last 3 years, and he hasn't gotten the job done. We need a different voice, maybe. So if it wasn't the exit interviews, I think it was that, and maybe it was a combination of both. But I also I think if he would have lost in the second round to the Celtics, he would have had a better shot at keeping his job than he did losing in the ECF to the Pacers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Possible coaching extension. Who knows? But I mean, I think, you know what? Yeah, man, let that boy go to the NCAA. You know what? He should go to an HBCU. That's where he should go. You know, he should be out there with all the brothers and stuff. You know, go on Thibodeau being at Bishop State College, home of the Wildcats. You know, maybe like
That's
Clinton
hilarious.
College, home of the Golden Bears. You know what I'm saying? Give this guy a chance. Is what I'm talking about. Fisk University. Shout out to the Bulldogs. Great. Let's keep it moving. Once again, this is the Pop Off. Like, share, subscribe, do the thing, and jump in to the chat. Johnny Boy is lighting us up. Johnny Boy, we're going to get to you. Don't you even worry. I haven't forgot about you at all, my guy. Now, we are going to jump into this next topic because Johnny Boy, he beat us to the lead. Norfolk State University. Yeah, man. Totally. Let's go right to the KD question. Question for Caleb specifically. So you know what? We'll start with you, Caleb. Is KD's career close to the end?
Of course. How can
And
have you not seen the Friar Tuck? Bruh. Of course it is. You know what I mean? I saw that the Knicks said no, but that's a James Dolan thing. He's mad because KD said years ago before when he had a chance to go to New York and he chose the Nets. And he said that what he called the Knicks, he said they're I forgot. He used some sort of word, but basically like they were clowns, like, and he dissed them and went to the Nets. James Dolan ain't forget that. See, people forget that people are human. So now the Knicks are on the upside, and it's like, oh, now KD's like, oh yeah, I wouldn't mind New York. He's like, no. Keep that same energy. You know what I'm saying? That's all that is. So, you know, and KD just got to eat it because he did. Like, that's what happens in life. It's like people, you never forget, as my mama said, always be nice to people on your way up because they'll be the same people you see on your way down. And when them boys is balling, KD's older now. Teams ain't vying for KD like that. You ain't see nobody like, right?
We are. Toronto is for some
Well,
reason. I don't know why.
Even if Toronto is, that's KD.
Yeah.
One team.
Yeah, totally.
You know what I mean? Like if when Giannis, everyone's like, what? Giannis, you started hearing all types of movement, right? It ain't like that.
For 09 with LeBron.
Right, exactly. So again, I do think he's at the end of his career. I think everybody knows that. Do I think he can still help? You damn right. I think him going to Houston, nasty. If he was in Detroit, nasty, right? You know what I mean? Like with them young boys, that kind of squad, man, please. But even the Spurs, because he mentioned him in San Antonio. Are you kidding?
I would love to see that one.
So he's still a mercenary and can still get the job done. But he's definitely coming to the end. That's obvious. You know what I mean? And it's the Steph, LeBron, and KD are fading into the sunset. New boys is coming. So, yeah.
Moody.
I mean, I wholeheartedly agree. Clearly, like, coming to the end, you know, you don't have 10 years left. Clearly still a valuable member of an NBA team. I mean, this is somebody who can give you, you know, 25, like, pretty easily.
Yeah.
You know, like, not really working that hard, can get you 25. And then, you know, if he goes into KD mode, you know, now we're talking 35.
Mm-hmm.
You know, 6 rebounds, couple assists. So, yeah, he is somebody that a team like Houston, I do think Houston's the best fit for him because they just have a good team. They have a good coach, very sound defensively, but offensively, you know, they still got, you know, some work to do. Like Jalen Green is one of the most inconsistent players I've ever seen in my life. Like he can have 31 night, the next night he got 7, you know, on 2 of 13 shooting. That's not it. They have a big man, Sengun, who's a fantastic big man. He usually gets like 16, 9, and 9. Like literally, he facilitates that offense. But when the game is on the line and you need 2 points, there is no one on that team who you can feel comfortable giving that ball to. And that is what KD would solve for them. He would, the high tide raises all boats.
Yep.
He would be that high tide so that, yes, this team has, success in the regular season, but in the postseason, they always crumble. KD is right here. And if, another team goes on a run, now he can neutralize it. If they need that clutch bucket, KD can hit it.
Yeah.
I do not see a team that's better for both sides than the Houston Rockets, my guy Udoka, and Kevin Durant.
Ooh, Gene, I will pay you Canadian dollars to put up a better argument than that.
No, that's a great argument. I personally, just for the fun of it, I'd like to see him play in San Antonio because I think I'd like to see him with a young Wemby, Castle. If CP3 comes back, I'd love to see that combination. The whole thing is you also got to remember too is these teams aren't getting him for free, right? They're still going to have to give something up. So a lot. Woody mentioned a lot of great names, but chances are at least one of those guys is probably going to be in a deal. Amen Thompson or a Sengun. Someone's going to be in that deal for him. So it really just matters where what he goes for to talk about what fit it's going to be. And the other part of it is like everyone's gonna say, well, how much could the Suns really be able to get for him? He's a 37-year-old star, and he can do these things, but he wants out. But you also got to remember that they're going to drive the price up on each other. There's 3 or 4 teams that do really want him, and those are the 3 teams that are going to drive the price up. Miami. What is it? I think it's between San Antonio, Miami, and Houston are the main teams. Those are the 3. Like, it's not really what the Suns could get for him. It's how much are those guys willing to outbid each other to get him. So you don't really know what the team looks like. Listen, it's not going to be like what happened with Melo when he was in the prime of his career coming to the Knicks and totally devastated the Knicks. But they're going to have to give away somebody that's key to one of those franchises. Not that he don't really have anybody to give away, I guess, right? But yeah, I think the 2 winners out of it would be San Antonio and Houston. I'm still curious as to he's never really, we didn't really find out what the holdup with Minnesota was because Minnesota sounded like, there was a rumor that Minnesota had a deal with Brooklyn in the mix for a 3-team deal, and then he kind of voided it or vetoed it. So I don't know what his holdup with Minnesota is. I'd love to know because I feel like that would also be a good situation unless he feels like he's going to go to a team that would be depleted and it wouldn't be the same. But that would also be a good situation. I'd love to know what his reluctance is with Minnesota.
Never thought about Minnesota, but I will go back to the Houston train because I think that for me is the best fit. I think that would be wild to have him out there. And plus, he went to school in Texas. You know what I mean? Like he's a Longhorn. So that would be in a way a coming home. Sure, he's from Washington. So maybe even go out to no man's land and kind of bring the people back to the yard. But I think that'd be a tough take. Caleb's like, Najee, you don't know what you're talking about. You're not wrong. But like Houston, I think for sure is a great fit. And last thing on Houston for me, Houston was one of those teams where like they came in real hot after the All-Star break and everybody enjoyed watching them play. Again, we got that Raptors connection, so we're on board with shout out to Fred VanVleet. But when they lost to the Warriors, that was not only were they they were the number 2 seed, but when they lost, it was a little tough. Like it was like, damn. Like I really kind of wanted to see them go a little further. You know what I mean? And I think KD would add that to Woody's point. I think he'd raise that tide a little bit so then they could go a little deeper just to see how they could go. Oh man, you just cry. Johnny boy, somebody jump in the chat because he is lighting us up with puns right now. Houston, we have a problem. Thank you very much for that. Once again, the pop off. We're doing the damn thing, talking about all the sports things that other outlets have talked about, but we're going in deep and we're adding jokes. That's what we do here at the pop off. Okay, great. So I also want to talk about Udoka. You know, he signed a multi-year extension with the Rockets. Since we're on the Rockets, you know, how significant of a deal is that for both him and Houston? Let's go with Caleb first.
I think it's great for Houston. I think because it gives you consistency. It's like you got a foundation. You know where you're at. You know who's going to be the coach, so you could set your what they call the team's identity, right? It's going to be that here. So now superstars, KD can know, well, how he coaches is not my thing, or that's exactly it. Like you have where you know who they are and what they do in Houston now, right? So I think that's great. I think he's a really, really good coach. You know what I mean? And he has a young team. They got a whole lot of draft picks because they were sorry for so long. So they got cachet. So that's why on the KD thing, I think they could get KD without giving up any of their real guys that they want to keep because they have so much draft stock. Because the Suns will take, you think they were going to take Van Fleet and somebody else, even Jalen Green, over 3 first or 4 first round picks? Like, bruh, you know what I mean? Unrestricted, man, come on. Like, they're not doing that. The draft picks are the golden tickets, you know what I'm saying, to Willy Wonka. So that's all that's going to be. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do if they want to take it, because I agree with you, Nigel. I think KD is that next thing because Van Fleet is not. Jalen Green is too young. He doesn't know who he is yet as a player. You know what I mean? Like what I mean is you don't go for 30 and then 7. Woody's right about that. Not as a star. You got to stay consistent because that's what the team feeds on and your coach places his game plan and strategy on. Right? Superstars are players that the coaches can depend on, and they build their strategy based off that. Phil Jackson knew Jordan's getting 35. Okay, I can bet on that. So because of that, we're going to run Paxson here. We're going to put Will Purdue here. Scotty, you come here. BJ Armstrong. And I'm sorry, this is the early 90s Bulls, but it's still the same idea. You're going to be in those. Oh, and Gene, you know who you were talking about? Craig Hodges. Don't stop me because I know that's who you was talking about.
No, that's not who it was either.
but
I was thinking the other day, could it have been PJ Brown I was thinking of?
What?
PJ Brown.
He
What do
didn't
you
play.
mean?
Nah, bruv. Not looking good,
stay with
bruv.
Hodges,
But I'm gonna just
Maybe he was on the
though,
Heat.
back to the lesson at hand. Okay, Houston with Udoka, I think is smart. It locks in their identity as a team, and now they can build everything around it. It will allow them to get a real star that can lock it in. I'm not saying Jalen Green can't be that, right? But he's gonna have to grow into it. And now that you got a coach there for a while, I think he might be able to do that. Getting a KD will only help him realize it faster because you get a master who can teach you this is what you do. And then, go from there. So I think it's a great thing.
What do you think, Gene?
It's significant for both, but I'll tell you one thing that Udoka could do. Why I don't know if he's had his press conference yet, but the one thing he could do when he has this press conference with this contract extension is send a little thank you to Leon Rose and the Knicks because they got you that extension, bro. How many times do you see a guy that's under a contract all of a sudden be wanted to be poached by another team, and all of a sudden, a week later, here comes their contract extension? You see it all the time in college, right? It happens in the pros too as well sometimes, and that's what I think one of the reasons why here they gave him that nice big extension. They said, "Hey, teams, I want to be in Houston, but make me feel like you want me in Houston." And I think that's something that came about because of the whole Knicks connection. I think it's great for the team. I think it's great for him. I think it's great for the city. This is a young team that's only going to get better as it goes, especially if you can add more pieces and they can grow with him, or they can grow together. He hasn't been a coach for many years, but he's been extremely successful in the short stop that he had in Boston. And now here, only a couple of years, he's been extremely successful, very quick. Can't wait to see what this guy does over the long term of an extended run. And Rockets, rightfully so, locked him in for the long term.
What do you think, Woody? Long term, is it a good thing, bad thing, average thing?
It's a great thing. It's literally a great thing. One thing that all bad teams have in common is the coaching carousel.
Yeah.
We're going through this one. Oh, okay, fire that one up. But what Caleb said, identity, right? That's what happens when you go through the coaching carousel. Is that this new guy has his new new philosophy, and these players can't keep up with all these new coaches. What you've done by signing Udoka to a long term is you have set their identity for the years to come. And now you have that consistency. All right. Now you have the stable environment in which all these young studs that you have, all the names that we said, Green, Thompson, Sengun, Van Vliet, they can grow in this controlled, stable environment led by a great head coach. So I think it's a great deal for them, sets up their future perfectly. And if you're any free agent, I know we're talking about KD, but even going down the line, any free agent, that's an appealing look, right? You don't want to go somewhere where you don't know who's going to be coaching you the year after that. But there's no question about that in Houston. So in this case, they don't have a problem.
Damn it.
Well, maybe just a little one. Whoever got a girlfriend or a wife in that front office, because Ime is single.
Yeah.
I was like, are we might with not even bringing this up. We might
with a whole lot of money. With a whole lot of new money.
Amazing. Hey, you know what? Let's jump into that money train and let's talk about the LA Lakers, specifically Jeanie Buss selling her majority stake for $10 billion to
why would she sell for $10 billion when she could sell for $10 million?
The pop off. So she sells a majority stake to a gentleman by the name of Mark Walter. If you're not familiar, let me give you a very, very brief rundown. He owns 27% of the LA Dodgers. Not only that, now he's going to be majority owner of the LA Lakers. And on top of that, he's running the sports group, the LA Sparks. My guy is an LA gangster, and he knows what he's doing when it comes to money. I believe he's hanging out with Dr. Dre and them this weekend. So we're going to see what's up. That's not true. If you look him up, he's the whitest white guy ever. That's not true. He's not hanging out with them. But this guy is now running LA. And Jeanie Buss is now running away with $10 billion. I was going to say million, $10 billion, $10 billion. Now, with that being said, would you guys have sold, or would you have stayed majority owner of the LA Lakers? Let's go the opposite way, and let's start with Woody this time. Would you have sold for $10 billion?
I think she stays on as governor. I read.
Right, she does have a say still, yes, but she has sold her majority stake in the team. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, 10 billion is pretty hefty. I'm gonna just say yeah. She had a good run. The run's not over. It's just a little bit different. Special shout out. I don't know if you guys have seen it. That HBO show, Winning Time.
Yep. Yeah, it got canceled. That was a great show.
Right? I don't know.
I don't know why they canceled it.
Yeah, me neither. But because that's all about Dr. Jaire Buss, buying the team. But anyway. The Buss family had a lot of success, also a lot of turmoil, right? Jeanie was fighting, with her brothers for pretty much most of the 21st century. So now the fight, right? I feel like that's what it was, is, when a fighter takes their gloves off and put them in the ring, like, hey, the fight is done. All right. We've done what we've done, walking into the sunset. I'm still a part of the team, but all this bickering about this, that, and the other, I am out. And that's what she did with $10 billion. So congratulations to her.
Caleb.
Yeah, I mean, you can't say no to 10 billion. It's the biggest sale of any American sports franchise in the history of the United States, right? It's not we're not talking about Manchester United and all that stuff overseas. I'm talking about in America, it's the biggest. So of course you do.
I thought it was in the world. It's not the whole world.
Oh, I don't think so. I think they said
I thought it was.
History of American sports is what it said on ESPN. So I think the key word was American because again, they don't want to talk about a soccer team over there who the Saudis just said 30 billion. We want them all. You know what I'm saying? Like so who knows? But on the real, but yeah, I think you take the 10 billion and she still gets to be on, and that's more to keep it. She knows, she's been running it. So it's like you leave her there, but now she's an employee, which is different. But that also gives her, she doesn't have the responsibility of carrying everything. Also the answer to all her siblings, right? Because it's not just her, there's 5 others. Because Dr. Buss had 4 from his first marriage and 2 from the second. So she also has 2 other siblings that aren't even from her mother, right? That get a piece. So everybody's going to divide up the, $5.5 billion, because, Uncle Sam is there first, because that's not 10 billion. Not when you get it, right? So she'll split that. But I mean, think about it. Everybody getting between 800, and I'm sure Jeanie probably gets more because she's who she is. She's like, well, I'm taking 2 off the top. Y'all divide 3 between the 5 of y'all, right? Who knows? But it's not like any of them are broke or flush for cash, so it doesn't matter. And I'm sure they're gonna bicker over that, right? Because I heard it wasn't majority of the siblings not majority, that it wasn't unanimous that to sell the team. So there's gonna be some that are gonna be like this bullshit $900 million.
There's going to be lawsuits for sure. I think there'll be a lawsuit or 2.
Huh? What'd you say, Jim?
I said I think there'll be a lawsuit or 2 amongst the family.
Oh
it just
my
feels
God!
Like
it's the dumbest thing. Like Jim Carrey said, I'd have got him 10. You know what I mean? It's just like they just want more. It's just ridiculous. But at the same time, I think it was a great business move. Because I think sports are going into a new world. It's a new thing. And it's like the old guard of how you did things ain't how it's done nowadays. And I think instead of dealing with the stress, and Jeanie's older, like she got to be in her 60s. I mean, come on, she definitely.
She's 63, but she's still pretty hot.
No. It doesn't yeah, but she's 60.
I just want to put it out there.
We all know. Listen,
I get it. So
I understand, but what I'm saying is, and that's a lot of work and stuff done because I love the white ladies, but they don't age the best all the time. So she's looking great because Goldie Hawn don't look too golden no more.
No, I think she's old. I think she's like in their 70s.
No. Hey, listen, Angela Bassett, Lynn Winfield, 72. Boy, listen. Hey, and Claire Huxtable.
Line between love and hate.
Did you see Claire Huxtable? She's 77, and Lord have mercy. You under dig? Like it's just there's difference.
Alicia Rashad. I haven't seen. What? Still looking good?
Oh, Felicia. Yes, like that's what I mean. But I digress. The point is,
wait, we're not going to rank black women right now. We're not ranking.
Elderly black women,
bro.
Yeah, elderly.
Bro, we know where Jean go. Jean, like y'all ain't seen J-Lo. You ain't seen Gloria Estefan. You know what I'm saying? He's like, you ain't seen Thalia? He's like, boy, listen. Look at him. He's looking at him.
He disappeared for a split second. He just disappeared for a split second. He was just went into his own mind.
But I'm just playing. But at the same time, though, for real, the 10 billion, like that's great. You got to take that because I know Jerry Jones is looking. He's like, listen, because the Cowboys they say is the richest franchise. So imagine if the Lakers get 10, he's gonna be starting at 15.
Yeah,
and he would get it. Believe it, he would get it. So, yeah, man, I think it's a great move.
Nice. Gene, do we go to you or did I skip you? Let's go to you.
I mean, I don't think I said anything, but it's a great move for her, right? And it should be a great move for the organizations. If we see all the other organizations they're willing to spend, that he's with, as for that Walters is with, he's with the Dodgers, right? They spend like crazy money. So I feel like she put the Lakers in a good situation. She obviously, I don't think she sold it to whoever came around with $10 billion. I think she also wanted to make sure it was going into into the hands of someone that was going to do the right thing with their organization going forward. I could even see her with the pride of owning the Lakers, even taking less money to go to put it to the right person. So I do believe she really likes where it's going, and who's taking over. I think there's a lot of pride in what her father did. To where, again, if you watch Winning Time, it kind of shows you a front page, front row seat to it, where the NBA was in so much trouble, the Lakers were in so much trouble, and he really helped build the Lakers up while at the same time simultaneously rebuilding up the NBA, right? So I think she takes a lot of pride in that. I don't think she would just want to sell to the highest bidder. I think it had to be the right situation, the right amount of money with the right kind of person and the right kind of organization coming in to take over the organization. And so, kudos to her, and hopefully we still get to see her sitting courtside, at least until the work doesn't.
She'll do that to the day she dies. That will never change.
Well, hopefully she still keeps getting work done because she's fantastic.
Look at you.
Hey, Jay Woods.
Hey, I feel you.
Jay Woods, right? She's back to Jay Woods.
I feel you. It ain't like it. Yeah, she definitely looks better than Cher.
Yeah. We're gonna keep this moving. Don't forget, this is the Pop Off, what you've been listening to, what you've been watching on the YouTubes. Don't forget to comment in the chat. We love to hear from you. We love to go off the rails, as you have seen. And also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, man, because we're just trying to build this thing up and have no one possible talking about sports and talking about different angles and different takes. Speaking of different takes, my segue game is aggressive today. We are talking about James. He has said some weird words when it comes to ring culture. LeBron James said this, and I quote, trying to nitpick an individual because he was not able to win a team game or a team match, or whatever the case may be. I don't know where it started, but it's a long conversation, especially when it comes to me individually. He said that on Mind the Game as a podcast with the Canadian at Arms, Steve Nash. James also proceeded to say, it's weird, it's never enough. This is a 4-time NBA MVP, and he's also won the Larry O'B 4 times. He's reached the NBA Finals 10 times during his 22, like an immortal career, and now he's talking about rings. I mean, do they really need to enter the conversation when we're talking about individuals? The answer from me is yes, but I want to go to the panel. Woody, what do you think about LeBron James and his comment on ring culture? Is he correct, or is he out of his lane?
I want to say first, it varies from sport to sport, in my personal opinion. Like in football, you can only play one side of the ball. Like you can score every single time down and lose. You can stop them from scoring. You can, get a turnover every time and lose. So football is one thing. Basketball, you can play both sides. I do think the cream pretty much rises to the top time and time again in basketball. But I do agree with what I took his sentiment to be, that ring shouldn't be the end-all, be-all. Like, you cannot tell me just because Klay Thompson has 4 rings and Allen Iverson has none, that Klay Thompson is better than Allen Iverson. You cannot. If I want to start a franchise, I am picking Allen Iverson 1,000 times over 1,000 times out of 1,000 times over Klay Thompson.
I forgot Klay Thompson had 4 rings. Continue.
But yeah, so I think that type of stuff, and he named some of the players, including the person he was sitting across from, who get lost in the shuffle simply because they don't have rings. And I don't think that's fair. I think Steve Nash is one of the best point guards to ever play. Charles Barkley, one of the best power forwards to ever play. Throw Karl Malone in there for that same accolade. Allen Iverson is somebody I already named. My guy, as a Knicks fan, Patrick Ewing, and these guys don't get love Kendrick Perkins out here talking big on ESPN, but like he can't hold a candle to Ewing, so. I think for yes, the absolute best of the best usually win, but there are circumstances. I mean, what more could Allen Iverson have done? He carried, the corpse of Dikembe Mutombo, Matt Harpring. No, I'm not making up names right now. Eric Snow, to the finals, and a team that won every single game. They were the only team to beat that team. Right, the Lakers were 16-0. Allen Iverson stepped over Tyronn Lue, beat them, and of course they lost the rest. But sometimes it's the organization's fault. And for some of those players that I just named, the Barkleys, Iverson specifically, it's the organization's fault. For other players like Karl Malone, it's Michael Jordan's fault. Sorry, he's the GOAT. He's the GOAT for a reason. He's the GOAT for a reason. So, I do agree with the sentiment. It is unfair to just say, oh, this dude had no rings? Oh, trash. I think that's unfair. But, when we're starting to split hairs, they have value.
Caleb.
I think I agree on the surface because Woody is right, but LeBron's not talking on the surface. He's so two-faced it. He's saying it because he doesn't have as many rings and he tries to say he's the GOAT.
Yes,
that's why. That's the only reason why he's talking about
Amen.
it.
Let him know.
He's so phony and you fell for it. It's like, and he had his do-rag on under his hat for no reason, which I hate, right? But again, that's the reason why he said it, right? So, but you are correct on the surface. Allen Iverson, I totally get it. But see, rings, what they do is they are the measurement for greatness, which all humans aspire to in whatever field that they are. Outside of sports, it's money, right? So what I mean is your boss did more or considered more valuable to the company. That's why they make more money and make those decisions, right? Elon Musk is not on the same level as the person that works for him because he came up with it. So he's paid $40 trillion and you make 120 grand. Okay? That's the way the world is, right? So championships separate the best from the best. It's like Top Gun, the elite best of the best. We'll make you better, right? That's what it is. You think your name's gonna be on that top trophy, on that Top Gun trophy, son? Yes, sir. That's pretty arrogant considering the company you're holding. Yes, sir. I like that in the pilot. That's all the difference. That's what makes the difference. And LeBron's trying to diminish that because of the realness of that world. Yeah, there's a lot of great players that didn't win them. And it doesn't mean Klay Thompson is bad. Mark Madsen got 3 on the Lakers. Mark Madsen, okay? Don't nobody care. I don't care that Will Perdue has a championship. We know what happened. You got lucky. He was with Mike.
Will Perdue.
So nobody thinks Will Perdue is better than Patrick Ewing. But we're not talking about Will Perdue. We're talking about the elite best of the best players. And they get separated by the rings that they have. And that's where LeBron is trying to diminish it because he knows he can't stand up to it. But yet he wants to say he's the best. That's where it comes from. So I think it's the measurement of how we separate the best of the best. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? It's like you're a champion, but how long did you reign? How many weight divisions did you go through, right? Like all of that comes into play when you start when you start separating the elite best. Mike Tyson, one of the most dominant champions ever, but a lot of people say when he fought people that actually could fight him, he couldn't beat them. So it diminishes him to a Larry Holmes, to a Muhammad Ali, to a Joe Frazier or George Foreman or what have you, right? Like there's levels to greatness. And that's what he was trying to diminish underhandedly with his snaky self. That's what he was trying to do the whole time. And by fluffing up everybody else's ego who didn't win. Steve Nash is like, yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm as good as Magic. It's like, no, you're not.
Steve, Steve Nash is Canadian, so he would never do that. He would be like, I don't know. I think I played a great game.
No, you're
No,
absolutely
I'm
right.
kidding.
Because Canadians are the sweetest. You know what I mean? But I digress. But the point is, though, it's an underhanded attempt at LeBron to try to pump up his own status while trying to make it look like, no, I'm helping everybody. Isn't this unfair? Not one, not two, not three, not four, not five. You know, get out of here, man. This lame self.
We have just had two very animated and poignant pop-offs from our colleagues here, from Caleb, from Woody, and now for the finisher, we go to the one, the only, enigmatic, exciting, and well-spoken Gene Fitzmagic. Take it home, Gene.
I'm actually going to be very calm about this. But, Woody did a good job of kind of talking about what it means in other sports. And I feel like is the least in is baseball, I feel like, because there's so many other moving parts that really go to a game. And like other sports don't, but baseball's just different. With football, I do think rings matter when it comes to quarterbacks. To an extent, is Marino not as good as Flacco because Flacco has a ring? No, obviously not. But when you go to that upper echelon, and this is where I'm going into a basketball too. When you go to that upper echelon, and you need something to kind of, it's almost like the overtime rule, right? Like, if you got two guys that are pretty comparable with what they've done, okay, well, who has more rings? And that's why I do look at it like the whole thing with, and Kevin is exactly 100% right. Like, listen, LeBron has always been a shifty guy, man. We know that. He's always been putting stuff out in the media when he tries to create a narrative, and that's what he's doing right here. He's just trying to create the narrative. He got the assist from one of the assist kings of Steve Nash for having him on the show to talk about it. And what did he say? Listen, rings, they're overrated. Yeah, Patrick Ewing was a great center. Was he better than Will Perdue? Obviously. But when you take Patrick Ewing and you have to put him up against the guy where you say, all right, well, they played in similar eras. They both were really great at their respective position. Him and Hakeem Olajuwon, who was better? Olajuwon's got a couple of rings. You got to
Olajuwon beat him directly.
100%. 100%. So I think it matters as a tiebreaker when you talk about the greats of the great, right? Marino is always going to be lauded as one of the top quarterbacks to ever play the game. He did things on the field that were unfathomable, especially in that time, in that era, in the 80s, early 90s. You couldn't do things. The defenses were allowed to actually manhandle offenses. Yeah. Now for a guy to throw for 5,000 yards, it feels like, why can't everybody do it, right? But he did it when it was like unfathomable. So it does. But it does ring true when it comes to two guys that are pretty much on the solid footing, solid standings. As okay, well, who actually, when it came down to the moment, who won more? And it's one of the things that happens with basketball, and I think it happens with quarterbacks in football. And that's what the difference is. So yeah, Klay Thompson's not better than Allen Iverson. But if you're looking at, okay, well, who's comparable? Are you going to say maybe like Steph and Iverson? Well, yes, Steph's got 4 rings. So there's ways about going about it where it does make sense, but it's also, it's also like, all right, we're not going to sit here and say Robert Horry, who has 7 rings, is better than Jordan. He just happened to be in the right place at the right time, hit a lot of nice big shots. But yeah, so it matters when it comes to the all-time greats, how to set them aside.
Right. And because the difference is this, Jordan was the driver of the bus. Horry was not. He was absolutely a passenger on all his teams. He was never even the third option. Okay. And I'm talking offensive. So there's that. But I will say this, there's an intangible that it brings in that is being forgotten, and that's leadership. Because no matter how great you are at talent-wise at the game, right? Nobody can say somebody's more talented than Allen Iverson, but you got to learn to win. What would have elevated Allen if he would have figured out how to win with the Eric Snow, with this, and if you can't, to get them out of there and get in the pieces that are needed. Like, that's where the basketball mind comes in, right? The triangle, Jordan hated the triangle. But Phil said, this is how we're going to be able to use the team around you so you can win. And he changed his game to fit in to a system that he did not like. That's what makes you great. You know what I'm saying? Kobe the same way. When Shaq left, that team was on Kobe. He had to figure out how to win a championship with a dude who hated him because he snitched on him about being in with the girls in the club. I'm trying to tell you, that means something. That makes you, like, it's a different level of understanding and how to work with others with your greatness. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it goes into that. And I think with football, it's the exact same way. Because Aaron Rodgers is a disappointment because everybody knows eye test wise, he might be one of the best ever all around quarterback. But he only got one. And you see why. You see why. It's his personality versus a Tom. Like, he wants this money. Tom Brady was like, pay me less. Tom Brady was winning all those Super Bowls and was the 10th highest paid quarterback in the league. Right? Because he wanted Bill to be able to keep a team around him so they can win. That's part of it. It wasn't his talent. Everybody know Peyton Manning was way better than him as a quarterback. Are you kidding me? But Tom knew how to win with his squad. Peyton would get to those games and lose. For whatever reason, Tom was winning, he wasn't. And it was consistent. It wasn't just one time, one season. It was consistent all the time, every season. So that's what I'm talking about. It's a different mindset that you have to go to, and you have to use everybody around you to win in a team sport, and you do it individually. It's an individual decision to do these sacrifices so the whole can win. And that's what makes you great, not just scoring 80 points. Because, you know what I mean? Tracy McGrady could do that, but he couldn't win a chip.
We're seeing Devin Booker do it now.
That's right. And not winning a chip. That's all I'm talking about. You know what I mean? So again, it's backhanded. But I gotta bounce, you guys. I got an appointment at 10:30. I gotta run too. But everybody have a wonderful, wonderful Friday. Great conversation, fellas. I'll see y'all next week.
Have a good one, man. We'll see y'all next week. Listen, this debate could go on forever, and the pop-off does it like nobody's business. However, we made some excellent points, and I think this is a conversation that is about, and I think the consensus is the ring or the trophy or whatever the pinnacle of that sport is, whatever you're driving towards that thing. If you obtain that, that immediately puts you in a different sphere, whether it's a large margin or a small margin, when we're talking about the best of the best, the elite of the elite. But did they win this thing? So we can talk about everything on stats, and it's all good. It is all good. But then they're like, oh, but did they win a thing? They did. So that just puts them over the edge just a little bit. I think that's generally what we're saying. Am I wrong in that assessment or no?
I agree. Yeah.
And I think
I thought you guys were more saying it like matters more at the top. Like, it's not a general rule of thumb, but it matters more at the top. I'll give you just because I'm stuck on Allen Iverson right now. Allen Iverson and like Chauncey Billups. You can say Chauncey Billups drove the ship. He is a finals MVP.
Yeah, for Detroit, yeah.
Are you taking Chauncey Billups over Allen Iverson?
So the answer is no. I'm going to address this very quickly because we bring up Iverson, and I think Iverson is a special case, just like Malone's a special case, just like the Patrick Ewing's a special case. I'll tell you what.
All right, give me or damn, because I was about to say Jason Kidd, but he won one.
No.
Steve Nash. Give me Steve Nash.
Yeah, and Steve Nash is a special case too. This is what I'm talking about, because those individual athletes, those ballers, did something to change the game that nobody else could have ever done. So, for example, Steve Nash, he wins 2 back-to-back MVPs. I believe he was the first outside of the U.S. to win back-to-back MVPs outside of the U.S., right?
Yeah.
And so, like, that is always going to be in the highest regards. There's no doubt about it. Allen Iverson, we all know this. He comes in tattooed up and starts the cornrow thing and changes the aesthetic of the game that players already wanted to do and they didn't do. He changed the aesthetic so much that video games started to do that. Before that, video games didn't have any of that. So what I'm saying is, and Patrick Ewing, you have this Jamaican from Yard, and he goes to Georgetown University, absolutely destroys, and he's just got a different vibe. And the controversy about him being drafted is a whole other conversation about where he got drafted and how that happened. So what I'm saying, Woody, is that like I agree with you 100%. I'm going to take Allen Iverson all day. I have no qualms about that. But what I'm saying is that some of these guys who don't have rings were game changers, and that should be held in the highest regard as well. It's just like, damn, I just wish they had a ring. Barkley, damn, I just wish he had just one. You know what I mean? I really do, because then you're just like, yeah, he got one. Because now we're in such a world that it's about multiple rings all the time. If you don't have multiple rings, then what are you playing the sport for? Which is crazy to think of. But it's like you got to win multiple rings. Let these guys just win one first, and then we'll go from there, right? Look at LeBron. Caleb already mentioned not one, not two, not three, and my guys won't hard stop at 4. He hasn't been in the NBA Finals since early 2000s, right? So it's interesting to see. I also want to bring up this one thing because you brought up, Woody, a really great case in terms of you started your argument or your conversation with multiple. This is a different conversation in multiple sports, is what you said, right? Like which I thought was brilliant. What a great take, just to take it outside of specific basketball talk. And the most recent thing that came to mind for me was Coco Gauff winning the 2025 French Open and dealing with Ariana Seba. I can't say her last name properly.
Oh yeah.
Sabalenka, right? That was the French Open, right? Am I right?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's all sounds familiar based on what I know about the story.
So the reason why I'm bringing that up is because Ariana says all this noise about, oh, Coco's not better than me. It's because I made more mistakes. That to me is the equivalent of LeBron saying, I mean, I'm still a sick player. I just don't need all the rings. It's like, no, you're right. You're a sick player, but also take your lumps, man. Be a professional. Yes, you made mistakes. Did they contribute to your loss? 100%. But also, did Coco Gauff play at the top of her game and beat you? Yes. So it's like let's just all call a spade when it comes to that kind of thing. So now Coco's got these trophies, and she's just bitter she didn't get one. So now it's her legacy. What's her legacy going to be like? We don't know yet, because both of these lovely humans, their careers are still ongoing. But I just thought that was also an interesting thing to contribute to this conversation, which has been fantastic. If you are just joining us now, man, the pop-off is going off on this lovely in Toronto, Friday, June 20th, 2025. The years are going by so quickly. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share to the pop-off, and check out the Pop-Off Sports Networks. There's so many other shows on this channel that we support and we endorse and that we love, talking about sports all over the place. We got a little bit of gambling for those people out there that are spending a little bit of money, but gamble responsibly. Thank you. Great. Now, moving right along, I think we should jump into some NFL news. I know there's been some people waiting for that, Johnny boy. So we'll jump into some NFL stuff, and then we're going to get out of here and let everybody enjoy the rest of their day. Thank you to those 58 that are holding it down with us. We're in the run out now, so we're in the last couple topics, and then we're going to get out of here because this has been so much fun. So we want to make sure the energy is up on our way out. But let's talk about.
I actually, I'm so sorry. I gotta go. Because I got something with my day job over here.
Oh, do the thing, bro. Do the thing. We'll hold it down. It's all good.
But what I will say, if I could just say just two things. One, Johnny boy, you seen my our argument with Boy Green about CJ Mosley retiring the Ring of Honor thing. 3 good years just isn't enough for the Ring of Honor. And to touch on something that you guys are going to touch on, Daniel Jones, he probably should. Health or no health, I would say. But I gotta bounce. You already know. Keep popping off.
Later, man.
Have a good one, my dude.
Peace.
Man, we got a little bit to talk about. That's gonna be really fun, the Daniel Jones conversation. But first, let's talk about this. And then there was 2. Gene, we're talking about the ESPN NFL quarter-century team spanning from 2000 to 2025. Whew. If you haven't seen it, did they get it right? Did they have some snubs? Is there some undeserving players in that? And if you don't know, I'm just going to pop off a couple of these names. So they basically went through they've created a whole team from 2000 to 2025. They've created a team. Obviously, their 3 quarterbacks is led by Tom Brady, and you also have Peyton Manning in there and Patrick Mahomes. Most notably, running backs, you have old school. If you remember, shout out to Priest Holmes, Christian McCaffrey, Derrick Henry. Those are 3 of some of the best when they were at their peak. There's no doubt in my mind. So fullback in there. Kyle, I could never say his name properly.
Is it Jusic?
Yeah, that's right. Kyle Jusic. Thank you very much.
I think it's Jusic.
Yeah, Jusic. He's still playing.
Or Juszczyk. No, Juszczyk. I think it's Juszczyk.
Juszczyk?
Yeah.
Kyle. Let's just call him Kyle. We also got a couple wide receivers in there of note. Randy Moss, Calvin Johnson, who retired too soon. He was so good. He was so good. Man, it's crazy. Terrell Owens is on there. Marvin Harrison, Justin Jefferson. Tight ends, Rob Gronkowski, of course. Kelsey, Tony Gonzalez. I mean, these are the best of the best names that you might not have heard in a long time, and they are back. Then they go into the defense with some some offensive linemen with Trent Williams to name one. Left guard, you got Steve Hutchinson. Let's see what else we got. Centers, we got Jason Kelsey, who most recently retired, so he's been retired for the last couple seasons now. We got some guards in there, right tackle. Everybody that you need is all here. Edge rushers, DeMarcus Ware, Jared Allen, Myles Garrett, Julius Peppers. I mean, these are studs among studs. Obviously, defensive tackles Arnold. Aaron Donald. Let's see what else we got here. Some defensive linemen, versatile defensive linemen, they're calling it. JJ Watt, shout out to the Watt family. Linebackers, of course, Ray Lewis, Bobby Wagner, Brian Urlacher. Ooh, that guy was scary.
Yeah.
Once he grew into himself and just like knew his identity. True face of the NFL, of the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, for sure.
Also we have cornerbacks like Darrelle Revis, Champ Bailey, Rondé Barber, Richard Sherman. Again, names that we all know. Patrick Peterson. Safeties, the one, the only. Shout out to the U, Ed Reed, Troy Polamalu. Shout out to my Steelers. Brian Dawkins, Earl Thomas III. Kickers, Justin Tucker, undeniable. For years on years, he was the first pick. Well, for kickers, he was always the first one to go. He's always the first one to get in fantasy. Return specialist, one of my fave. There was only one. Devin Hester. There's only one.
Who comes into my restaurant often.
He
comes into my restaurant often.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
All right, Braggy McBraggerton. And obviously they go into the coaching staff as well. Bill Belichick is leading the charge here. Kyle Shanahan, Wade Phillips, defensive coordinator, Dave Taub, who's a special teams coordinator. This list is extensive. If you haven't seen it, make sure to go to ESPN.com. We're not getting ad money for that, but just go check it out if you're a football fan. What do you think? What do you think, Gene? This is extensive. What do you think?
You listed a lot of great names, but you forgot to mention one guy, the incomparable long snapper, Gordon Cox. How do you even come up with who's the best long snapper in 25 years? I don't even know.
You're not wrong.
I just think it's more funny that the league actually said, "Hey, we got who's long snapper?" Like they actually put together a thing like a criteria for long snapper.
And they're all scrambling, like I don't know
who. So I found some names I thought were odd on this list, and some names I thought were odd that weren't on this list. Sure. I don't know about you. Did you?
No, I did not. So I can't wait to either help or hinder your list.
Oh, okay. All right. So let's start at the quarterbacks. Fine. Juszczyk, I'm fine with Juszczyk. The only one I'm surprised he didn't get any consideration to maybe list 2 of them is I thought Tony Jefferson. I'm sorry, not Tony Jefferson. Tony Richardson. Fullback for the Vikings for a long time and played a bunch of different places. But I thought he was a fantastic fullback for years and years and years. But I can see it being Juszczyk. Now here's where I have a major problem on the offensive side of the ball.
Oh wait, is that the only fullback that you're thinking of?
Yeah, they only listed one fullback. That's the only fullback that I thought should have made it. But I'm okay with Juszczyk because he has been that guy.
Because I was going to say, what about Allstott?
You know what?
Tampa Bay.
Was he more in the 90s though?
Oof. You know what? You might be right.
He might have been more than 90s.
You're right. You're right.
But my major problem with the list was at least offensively was the running back spot. And
Okay.
yeah, you know what? I don't think he was drafted. Yeah, he was mostly in the 90s.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Okay. So my problem with the list is at running back.
Well, sorry, hold on. Also, he was 96, and then he played from 2000 to 2006. But I guess his big years was like 98 to like 2003 kind of thing.
Yeah, he probably just didn't have enough of the 2000s. I mean,
Yeah.
I get that. Otherwise, I think he should be there. But
Yeah. Sorry, continue.
No, not a problem. Priest Holmes was a fantastic back, but how come Derrick Henry needs to be there? Let me start there. Derrick Henry needs to be there. Christian McCaffrey's been hurt a lot. As dynamic as he's been, I don't think he's done enough in the short amount of time he's been in the league, and he's been hurt a lot. And Priest Holmes, fantastic back, but I don't think he should be there either. Here's the two guys I can't understand why they're not on this list. First one, LaDainian Tomlinson. Did we all forget about LT? Diving over the line? And how is Adrian Peterson not on this list? Who, by the way, knocked some guy out yesterday at a card game. I don't know if you caught that online.
I missed that.
It was on TMZ Sports. Shout out to TMZ Sports. They had the video of it. They just saw something. They were having a poker game. Somebody must have said something, squared up, and they went at it. So
That's funny.
But how is Adrian Peterson and LaDainian Tomlinson not on this list?
Love it. Yeah. I'm on board.
They should be there over Priest Holmes and Christian McCaffrey. Derrick Henry needs to be there. I'm fine with that one.
Yeah.
And then with the edge rushers, I don't know who you take out to add this guy, but I don't get why he's not there. You got DeMarcus Ware, you got Myles Garrett, understood. Julius Peppers, understood. Forget about how good Jaire Allen was. Jaire Allen was dominant. I don't think he played for the Chiefs and then the Vikings. But Von Miller not on the list. I just thought Von Miller needed to be there.
Mm-hmm.
No?
Mm-hmm.
Would you disagree?
I don't. I think where my brain all of a sudden went, especially I keep bringing up All-Star, especially because of the All-Star argument or the All-Star contribution. I'm wondering because of the dates. I'm wondering because if they would consider some of these players that you're going to bring up like later in this.
Well, Tomlinson was drafted in 01, I think, so he's right there. Peterson, I think, was drafted in 06.
Yeah, that's interesting, man. Yeah, you're right.
And they were like, I mean, for years on end, they were each considered the best running backs in the league.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Like, I don't remember there being that long of a prime for Priest Holmes. I can remember that one year he caught a crazy amount of passes. I remember the one year he had the most touchdowns, but like, I just feel like he didn't do what these other guys did.
Right. For as long. Right.
Yeah, for as long.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Great. Okay.
I'd love to know what Woody would have thought because I feel like Woody would have had an issue with some of these names here, and I would love to hear what he would have thought. But the rest of it, I'm okay with the rest of it. Revis needs to be there. Bailey needs to be there. Palmu, Ed Reed, Dawkins, Earl Thomas, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Devin Hester, obviously. Matthew Slater was, maybe the best special teamer I've ever seen for the longevity. I'd have to think about if Shane Leckler was the guy. I mean, it's a punter. You kind of like to forget about how good punters can be, how important they are to your team, but they are important. And then, like I said, the incomparable Morgan Cox.
Yes, the incomparable. I mean, listen, man, it's obviously this thing. They're just throwing some names up there, right? I mean,
I'm going to be honest. Morgan Cox sounds like a porn star name, does it not?
100% it does. 100%. Who knows? Maybe that was another.
He's got an OnlyFans somewhere, I'm sure.
But a lot of these names, a lot of these figures were household staples.
Yeah.
For that era, right? They were just like, you would mention these guys all the time. So it's nice to see them get that recognition. Once again, this is kind of arbitrary. It's like ESPN's just doing their thing. And, I'm not sure. I didn't get into the nitty gritty of who voted or who was who had the paperwork to vote, but I think they did a pretty decent job. And like you said, Gene, there's a couple misses on there. I don't think there's a huge discrepancy between certain players, but I think they did a decent job.
I think the only thing that's egregious is the running back spot.
Right.
I don't understand how there's not an LT or a Peterson on that. Like, did you forget that they played? Like, I don't get how they're not on this list.
Yeah. Ooh, John Randall, huh? John Randall.
Ooh, who said John Randall's in
Johnny Boy.
John Randall might have been too early.
Yeah, that might have been it here. What do we got?
He might have been more
Randall.
90s.
I'm gonna look that up real quick. Yeah. Oh yeah, big time. He drafted in 90 and then he retired in 2003. So
yeah, so that's not long enough.
Yeah,
and that was down end of his career. So
yeah. Good. Nice try though, Johnny Boy. Nice try.
Nice pull.
Yeah, thank you so much to the 62 that have been hanging out. We appreciate you that have just jumped on. This has been the pop off, and we're doing the thing. Once there was 4, then there was 3 for a hot second. Now there is 2. Me and Gene holding it down. Going to finish up the show talking about a couple other topics in the sports world. What you missed is some NBA talk. We talked about the NBA finals. We talked about LeBron talking nonsense about, do rings matter? We've talked about coaching positions. We've talked about all the things, talked about some NBA news as well. And now we have jumped right into the NFL business. Man, NFL is just right around the corner. So With that being said, week 1, who do we got? Indy's got a deal. They got a situation over there. The Steelers had one. We can breathe, quote unquote, easy, but now the Indianapolis Colts have an issue. They have an injured, or at least a not 100% Anthony Richardson, but they also have Daniel Jones, old school Daniel Jones. Which one should get the start? Let's say if Richardson isn't 100%, but there's a good chance he might not be.
So can I start by saying, does it matter?
I would love for you to start by saying that.
Does it matter? Can I say something weird? I have a feeling Daniel Jones is not going to be that bad in Indy. I think he's going to take the job, not because of Anthony Richardson not really being the guy, but I don't think he's the guy anyway. But I feel like Daniel Jones, I don't think he's going to be great by any stretch, but I think he's going to win the job there, and I think he'll be the guy there for a couple of years. Mm-hmm. I just have a feeling that they turn him around. I don't know why. Nothing I've seen. There's no numbers. There's no eye tests. It's just something in my brain tells me he's going to figure it out in Indy, and he's going to be not a great quarterback, but a decent quarterback.
There's something there's something about Indy and their game. I don't know if it's in the water or just the vibe. All you need is and we've used this term quite extensively on our pod, just a serviceable quarterback, but that's just a little bit better, and all of a sudden the team can be lights out. Like they can be, or they can at least be in every fight, which is shocking. Ooh, Andre Johnson over Justin. Interesting.
Maybe because of the longevity, but I think Justin Jefferson's a better.
Fair. But yeah. So sorry. Back to the Indy talk. So I think you're right. I think Daniel Jones will be fine. I think the challenge or the issue that the Colts have here is that they want Richardson to be the future so bad, and that's the problem. That everything just seems like a false start because he kind of gets into a groove, injured, and it's just it just hasn't been his career so far. Hasn't been, obviously nobody wants their career to have this kind of trajectory.
Yeah,
but to take the Colts just to the next level one time, they get so close. I think Jones, to your point, is like going to be like oh my goodness, I cannot Super Bowl winning quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens. What?
Gilbert?
No. And he is now with the Cleveland Browns fighting
Flacco.
Yeah, but he's like a Flacco type, no glitz, no glam. But you put a decent team around him, he might just do a thing.
Yeah, I mean, we forget that team around him in New York was horrendous. Yeah, horrendous offensive line.
Yeah.
Other than having the Saquon Barkley there, he didn't have really anything else.
It's brutal. So I agree with you. And they're indoors, right? They're turf.
Yeah.
So
cool.
I mean, guys, they might not be bad. I'm not saying that they're going to make playoffs. I just think they might not be bad with Daniel Jones being QB1. We'll see.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to be. I don't think he's going to be as bad as he was on the Giants. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which isn't really a ringing endorsement either, I guess. But I just don't think he'll be as bad as he was with the Giants.
Fair. Yeah, fair. I hope not. Oh my God, for his sake, I just hope not. Let's skip on down to the Washington Commanders. Now, do they have a chance to give the Eagles a run for the division this year? This is a little early to say, so we might have some hot takes. But do we think the Commanders have something to say for the Eagles? Because they gave them a little bit of trouble. They gave them a little bit of trouble. Are they going to give them all the trouble this year, though?
Well, let's look at the two teams. I feel like the Eagles lost some players.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they lost who's the safety that they had. Then they let him go to Detroit, and they brought him back, and he's gone again. Can't think of the guy's name. But so they lost a couple guys, and what the Commanders do, they added some guys. They added a dynamic offensive weapon, Deebo Samuel, who, as long as he can be healthy, is as dynamic as anybody on the football field. I don't think they'll win the division, but I think they make the Eagles sweat towards the end till the end of the season. And in the playoffs, when anything can go happen, I think you could see them, make some noise in the playoffs, and who knows, maybe upset them at that point. But I still think the Eagles have a lock on the division. They're just too entrenched in the division. Their team is still solid. They didn't lose as much as they lost some players. Don't get me wrong, but they didn't lose as much as I think that the Commanders gained. Mm-hmm. So I still think the Eagles have it. Although I think it has narrowed even more.
Right. And now just let's I'm going to give the audience a little bit of a refresher. We're talking about the NFC East.
Yes.
The Eagles finished with a 14-3 record. Washington Commanders were right on their heels, or right on their talons, if you will, with a 12-5 record, which was astronomical. And then the lowly Cowboys were 7-10, and then the lowliest of Giants, they're not Giants anymore. They're just, they're not big at all. They finished with a 3-14 record. So all this to say,
you know what I call them?
You know what? I don't know. Okay, go ahead.
So a lot of people call them the G-men, right?
Yes.
I call them the G-strings.
Okay.
So whatever you need me to talk about the Giants, I'm going to call them the G-strings.
Okay, you can do that, the G-strings. So the Commanders were right on their heels. So, I mean, it feels like it could be a time thing. It feels like it could be an injury thing. All it takes is one game, not the regular season, but if the playoffs pan out as they will, or as they may again, it just takes the Eagles to lose to somebody unwillingly, and the Commanders to just really take hold and really know who they are, because they have a lot of energy. Yeah.
And you kind of said it, but I don't think you meant it in this way. You said it's a timing thing. It's also a timing thing in the sense of it's only a matter of time before it is the Commanders' division. I think we're about a year away from. I think by next year, we're wondering if the Eagles have enough to still win the division, because the Commanders are that team at that point. So I think it's only a matter of time before this division becomes
it flips.
And it flips, and it's now Washington's division for the next few years. So, and I think that's only a year away.
Yeah, because the Eagles also, we got to think about money, and we also got to think about age.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We got to think about, there's a couple different things. So, but hey, man, kudos to them for the reigning Super Bowl champs. But let's see, they've made the NFC East fun again. At least the two of the team.
Sure.
Have made it fun.
Sure. And you never know where you're getting out of the Cowboys, so they'll be floating around somewhere. What's the trouble?
Absolutely. Listen, we're on our way. We're gonna jump into one more major sport. So shout out to all those that have been with us, the Rider guys.
Can we just do I know we're not going to spend a lot of time, but can we just acknowledge and just do a little lightning round version of it, of what we think of the Jaire Alexander trade?
Oh yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
What do you think it makes the Ravens secondary? How much better is that Ravens secondary for you? Without going crazy, just give me a quick answer.
Yeah, I mean, great. Great. This is deep for me. Like, this is like it's home for me. It's going to make this more of a challenge for not only the Steelers but any other team in the division. Yeah, especially because now the Steelers specifically. I know we're talking about the Ravens, but the Steelers specifically, new quarterback. So like, there's going to be a new offensive playbook for the most part. We don't know what kind of grounds. We don't know if the rumors of Tom giving up a little bit more reins to not only the offensive coordinator, but to Rodgers for him to do his thing. We don't know what that's going to look like. So now you already have a badass defense that's they've just boosted, man. If everybody can stay healthy, they're boosted, they're veterans, they know what they're doing. And it's going to be scary. It's bottom line. That's kind of how I feel. What do you think, Gene?
Yeah, I think that health-wise, this goes from making it maybe the best defense in the league. Yeah, I don't think they were there yet, but I think this is. And again, he's got to stay healthy. If he stays healthy, this might be the best defense in the league now. That secondary, it's got to be the best secondary in the league, right?
For sure. And to Woody's point, we said earlier is like, oh man, I forgot the point. He made such a good point about, you could win or lose a game, and it wasn't even necessarily your fault. There's nothing you can do because you're not playing both sides, you're playing one side.
Yeah.
And Baltimore lost because of the offensive. Was interesting, mostly because a couple hiccups here, and then Jackson was all out of sorts, and they just couldn't figure it out. On the defensive side of the ball, though, they did as much as they could to keep the squad in the game or in the games. So you're right. Who knows what can happen from here on out next season, which is only a couple months away. I love this. Let's jump into MLB, and then we are out, folks. Ken Ohtani, who has been pitching now. He just pitched one and a half. I can't remember how many he did.
It was one.
Yeah, I think it was one as well. Can he stay healthy, hitting and pitching at the MVP level through September?
He has to. That's what they paid him for, right? They paid him to do both. He has to. My question is how long of a leash do they give him on the mound? Are they going to give him a nice long leash on the mound? I mean, obviously, we know what he does at the plate, right? We know that already. We haven't seen him pitch for like over 2 years. So it really just depends on what kind of a leash they're going to give him. If they're going to let him go out and work through his mechanics and get his thing going, he could. I really just think it just depends on if the Dodgers actually give him the leash to be able to do that. Because he hasn't pitched in so long, he's going to have to really kind of find himself again on the mound.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to let him pitch a lot. I think bottom line, I don't, whether or not he's trying to stay at the MVP caliber, which is wild too, because I don't know how much, I don't know the guy. I don't want to put words in his mouth. It doesn't feel like he cares too much about that. He cares about his team. He respects the hell out of the other team, the opponents and the officials. Have you seen him? Do you know he waves or he bows? He respects the umpire.
The umpire every at bat.
It's wild. That tradition is unreal. It's unto itself.
Yeah.
But I digress. I think where he's most valuable is being DH and doing that thing. And I think they just want to get him back on the mound just to feel it out again. Maybe he'll have a couple more outings this season, but I don't think they're going to put him. I don't think the Dodgers are going to put him in a situation where it's a do or die or it's high risk to not only himself or to the team stat.
Let me ask you a question. Are they able to move him from DH to a closer?
Ooh, that I don't know. I don't
know. In the middle of the game, like say he's DH all 8 innings, and the 9th inning comes. Are they able to switch him to being a closer? I don't know what the rule is on the DH spot becoming. Because to be honest, if you could do that, that's probably you find his maybe his best role is if he could shut down the 9th inning and hit the whole game and come in at the 9th inning and shut down the inning. You don't put not too much tax on his body, pitching the 1 inning. That might be something there.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Look it up.
Yeah, that's a good question. Excuse me, guys. Okay, let's get through this and let's talk about I'm gonna give it a dealer's choice. I'm gonna give it to you. Do you want to talk about the Giants Red Sox trade, or do you want to talk about the Yankees 6-game losing streak?
Well, the Yankees just broke that losing streak yesterday, so I think
that's right.
So let's talk about the trade.
Great. So for those who don't know the trade that I am talking about, well, it's been said that it shocked the MLB for the most part. Rafael Devers, he has now joined the Giants after a falling out with the Boston Red Sox. which is a pretty big deal. So, what do you think? How do you feel about Devers going over to the Giants, especially in such a fashion? Oh, it almost feels like NBA or almost feels like NFL kind of. We don't get that a lot.
Yeah, especially this kind of the way it went down. He homered, and then 2 hours later, he was on. They shipped him out. So, you know what? So the Giants obviously win this trade, right? Because they got a guy that's going to be able to play there for a long time. He's never had a history of being like a problem in the locker room until this year when they tried having him switch all over the place for other players.
Right.
So I don't think he's going to be a problem in the clubhouse. I think the Giants got themselves someone that they can now build around, and they're already playing really well anyway, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I get why the Red Sox did it, and I don't think that they look at it like they lost. I think they needed to make some moves. Listen, they got a lot of young guys coming up, and I think it's kind of reminiscent of what the Yankees did in like 16 and 17, where they traded a lot of guys, celebrating the young baby bombers, as they called them. They got Roman Anthony that's coming up. They got Christian Campbell, who's just sent down, who's going to slump a little bit, but he'll be back up. They got a lot of these young guys that they're bringing up, and I think they want to build around the young core. The timeline is off. You got a guy that's been here 9 years. They're paying him $300+ million for his career, and they got all these young guys they want to bring up, and they want to be able to have them all like kind of play together. So I get why they made the trade. It doesn't really like not jive. It makes sense to me. Bregman's the only outlier, like right. So, and they might try to move on from Bregman. We don't know. I mean, they could move on from Bregman too. We could say, but I think. And here's the other thing too: is the Giants ate the whole contract. It's not like the Red Sox still got to pay a portion of that contract. So they were able to. When you do that, you got to take a little bit less back because you're not paying anything. Usually, that's how it works. So I don't think the Giants clearly won. But I actually think the Red Sox lost. I think they're looking at it like, listen, we need to move on from here because the timeline is off, and we want to give these kids a chance to start doing some stuff on this team. We want to bring some of these kids up that we've been talking about, we've been hearing about, and I think that's why. So I don't think either team really. I don't think the Red Sox really lost, but I don't think they won the trade by any stretch.
I'm going to push back a little bit.
All means.
I think they both won.
Okay.
And so that's why I said push back just a little bit, only because it's been proven in the past. We've seen it before. When this kind of drama happens, athletes at that level, talking about Devers, become a little bit cancerous to the squad. And it affects their play. It affects the clubhouse. It affects like just media. It affects everything that's happening. So I think they win in the respect that they get them out of there, especially that the Giants pay for the whole thing. To your point, pay for the whole thing. Boom, clean break. And so now, boom, we're done with it. We can walk away from it. Boston right now is 39 and 37. So they're just teetering back and forth, wins, losses. They're just doing that thing. A bunch of young bucks that are going to bring up the franchise in a couple years or so. But the Giants, they're on the tails of the LA Dodgers in the National League. In the West, Dodgers are 46 and 30. The Giants are 42 and 33. And the Dodgers are 40 and 34. So it's real tight in there. And Devers could be that guy who could make or break where the Giants land come the fall. But who knows? Who knows? But I think it's a win-win for everybody. I think they've been in the mix for a very long time. And I think this is a good comeuppance for them because they kind of really petered out from their glory days. So that's where I'm at with that. And I mean, Boston is tough. I saw Boston a couple years ago. Woo! They won the game, but man, it was tough to watch. Tough to watch baseball. Hey, listen, Gene, we did a thing.
Yes, we did.
Last two men standing. We've done it before. We will do it again.
Yes, sir.
And we are going to be doing this whole thing again with all four riders. Ride or Die next Friday, 12:15. You know what it is. Come with us. Be here. Join in the chat, like I said. But please do not forget to like, subscribe, share. Do all the things that social media asks you to do. You're helping us. We're helping you. Gene, weekend words from you, my man?
No, listen, it's good hanging out with all four of us again. We haven't all before been together for a little bit. Just everyone have a great weekend. We'll see you next week. There's a ton of new stuff coming on next week. We got what was it, on Monday at 10 a.m. We have Prop Stars at 12 p.m. There is Rookies of the Year. Wednesday at 9:30, it is Sports Rants with Abby and Friends. And then all the way back on Friday, you got us at 12:15. So, and there'll be new stuff popping up here in the next few, as we grow a little bit more. We got about, I think, 4 or 5 shows in development. So looking forward to that.
There it is. Hey, man, I know some of you have been asking, and for those that haven't asked, I'm going to tell you anyway. No, I didn't forget about Nigel's Cap Corner. Come on, man. We just had a lot of stuff to get through. Check this one out. This is from the locals, Asterix Adidem, and this is that real tree. That real tree is hot. I've gotten used to this pattern, and I really like it. This is their A logo. It's real fresh. This orange is bright, popping off. Look at that side patch. Got a little puffing on there. Huh? Nice little puffing on there. Boom. Then you got the Asterix, which is their brand name, Adidem Asterix right there. Boom, boom, boom. New Era flag in the same orange, gray under with white and black guts. Love it.
Who are the Asterix?
Huh?
What are the Asterix?
What are the No, it's a brand. It's a clothing brand.
Oh,
yeah. No team. No. It's just a clothing brand.
I thought it was a minor league team or something.
Yeah, no, not even. Just some local brothers that I've come to know, and I support whenever I can. So this was the second
go
drop.
check them out.
So I got it. Adidem Asterix. It sounds just like it is, and so do we. This has been the Pop Off. Another great episode. We will catch you guys next week. Have a fantastic weekend and an even better week. See you next Friday.
Peace.